this is done up like a green room. Is this a VIP suite or something?
Yeah, they use it as like a,
So if fancy people come and they've decorated it for the play. For the fancy.
And there's a little turntable in the corner, so theoretically they can put a little.
So what you can bring your friends here? Like is it like for a corporate or a party or something? Fancy people come.
Yeah, I think
they get their VIP drinks in here.
We've not done anything with press or anything here, but I think they have. It's amazing how many of these little rooms there are of the old West End theatres.
Yeah,
that are all used for different things.
For VIPs.
Or like Cameron McIntosh, I know, has like his own room. Oh. He like has drinks in, like, it's just, I think it's like, they're like rabbit warrens.
Oh, well, I bagsy this one because I really like it.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Okay.
if Cameron McIntosh has got a room, I think I should have a room.
Well, this is yours now.
Yeah, great. Yeah. I could live here.
Yeah.
I mean, in London, this is bigger than a lot of studio flats in London. Very happy. Bed that comes out from the wall, sorted. Backstage at the Duke of York's Theatre in London, the Spontaneity Shop presents The Guilty Feminist with me, Deborah Frances-White, and my very special guests, Lucy Karczewski and Nia Towle, talking about women in music. I am thrilled to be joined backstage at the Duke of York's Theatre in London by two of the stars of the new play, Stereophonic. Now, this play broke the world record for how many Tonys a play has ever been nominated for in the history of Broadway theatre. And we're lucky enough to now have it in London. As soon as I saw it, I thought, I have got to talk to the actresses playing the lead female characters in the show, because man, does it speak to feminism in the same way that Mad Men did. Mad Men was not a feminist piece on the face of things, but it really showed what women had to put up with. And the play follows several months in the life of a fictional band recording their difficult second album in 1976. Among the cast are Lucy Karczewski, who's here with us today. She plays Diana, and Nia Towle, who plays Holly, and they are both with me here right now. Welcome to The Guilty Feminist.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Now, I really, really loved this play. It's a band that might be in the genre of Fleetwood Mac or other 70s bands where there were romantic relationships going on, lots of real art, real work, deep feelings swirling around, huge fan base. And so when you first came to this piece, what did you think of it when you first got the text?
Well, I had the music before I read the piece, and the music was so original and so evoking, and just the imagery in it was a bit wild. Like I couldn't. There's no way I could follow a story. I just felt something. And then when I actually read the play, the way it's written, it's a brilliant read. Rather even just, I mean, it's a great watch and it's a brilliant read because the way it's written is so specific, and nothing is exposition. Like you're really finding something, and you're more feeling something when you're reading it. You're getting a sense of something. No one's telling you exactly who's right and who's wrong. And so when I first read it, I just got this sense of this character, Diana, and this friendship between Diana and Holly, and these relationships that wasn't being told to me, but I could just feel it really strongly because they call it a naturalistic play, but it's more of a hyper-naturalistic thing, and it's beyond that to perform because you've got to get it so right. You've got to get the script so perfectly right. But yeah, when I read it, it was more of a sense of something that was really visceral. And I really fell in love with the character as soon as I read Diana. I thought, gosh, she's so playful. Like I can do so much with her. I can have so much fun, and she's doing so many things with just a few simple words. She's managing a lot of relationships, which a lot of them are doing. And
she's a writer. She writes her own work, doesn't she?
Yeah, but I don't think she wouldn't say that. She wouldn't say it. She'd be like, oh no, I just like I have an idea of a song in my head, but I can't really, I couldn't bring it anywhere. But yeah, she is. She's very musically capable and has a great understanding of music and depth and emotion and great art. But she would never say that. She sings and then she plays a bit of piano and she plays the tambourine, and she's incredibly insecure about not having any other musical skills. And that's part of her arc in the play.
But there are times when she says, I'm not cutting my songs down. She defends her work and says when her male bandmates are saying, no, you've got to make it shorter. She says, well, I won't cut it at all. I won't cut anything out of this. And she has a great defense for her work.
Yeah, that's the first time she ever decides I need to start defending something. And for me, vocally, this is true, and in my performance as an actor, but you watch Diana develop as an artist, and you watch her develop her voice artistically, but also as a woman. Like, you watch her realise who she is and what she wants to say. So when she comes, we develop a song, she writes something called Bright, she does a little demo of it, then they develop it into something else, and then it becomes something amazing through help of her other bandmates.
And all the music's being played live on stage and sung live on stage.
Yeah, you're seeing it all live on stage. It has got to be good when it's meant to be good.
It feels a bit like watching that Beatles documentary that came out a couple of Christmases ago, where they just had this, it looks like it's been shot yesterday, and you're spending all this time with the Beatles, and in some ways nothing happens, and in other ways everything happens. And it's just these very small status exchanges, these very small creative tensions, these, how a song is written, how a song is recorded. And it was absolutely gripping and compelling, that documentary series. And we all said, my friendship circle, when we talked about it, we all said what we took from it was the ordinariness of genius. The way they'd just be like, I don't know, I could throw this in, I could throw this chord in or whatever, and then, they're creating some Beatles masterpiece right in front of your face. I felt the same thing about this show. In some ways, nothing happens. In some ways, everything happens. In some ways, you are just watching people record an album. And in other ways, you are seeing all of these sharp dynamics and relationships, competitiveness, ego, sexism, defense of your work, insecurities. Maybe this is nothing, difficult second album. Maybe we're one-hit wonders. Maybe we'll never be able to reproduce this again. And so it's really gripping. It's something with it's not like coming into the West End and seeing a murder mystery with a big plot. There's very little plot and a lot of story, which is what made me think of Mad Men when I watched it. Because it also has very little plot and a hell of a lot of story, because you're there in this deeply human state with these people, watching them from moment to moment. Nia, what drew you to your character? Can you tell us about her?
I mean, it's always an interesting question as an actor, like, what drew you to a character? Because when you get an audition through, you get drawn to the character a lot of times. No, of course not. But, I also heard the music before I read the play, and I thought the music was extraordinary. And I didn't even know that there would be music like that in a show that I could be in. And then when I read the play, actually, my first experience of reading the play, I think partly because of what you've just been describing, and Lucy, about it's not got a beginning, middle, and end. It's not a murder mystery. It's not, you can't follow it that way. So when I first read it, I sort of didn't know, I couldn't really make it out. I was it had a huge impression on me. And the way that the characters speak and how individual all the voices were, I was just blown away by. And in the script, the play text that we were sent, it's not in the one you can buy, but there's each chapter has an album that David has put at the beginning of it. So listening to that music whilst reading it. So it was more like, I wasn't really sure what it all was or what it all meant. And to be honest, I didn't really know until we were rehearsing, until we maybe far into rehearsals, or even there's moments now where I'm like, I think it's quite a hard read to just meet it for the first time and go, oh yeah. Okay, I get exactly what's happening. I know who these people are. Da, da, da. It's not like that because it's very
You need to find it out
real.
in the rehearsal because these are tiny human interactions.
Yeah, and they're very real people. They're not caricatures of anything.
No, not at
So-
all. Your character, Holly, what struck me is that she has been in a relationship with Reg. She's no longer in a relationship with Reg. And
Well, they are and they aren't.
they
throughout
are
the
and
show.
off, but at the beginning they're not anymore, are they?
Well, they
come back.
sort of are, but they're really on the rocks, and then they break up, and then they get back together, and then they break up again.
So, yeah, it's always a tenuous thing. You don't know every time
Yeah.
you see them because
Yeah.
there are time jumps. You don't know whether they're together or not.
Yeah.
And at one point, she says to him, I'm not wiping your face anymore in the middle of the night so you don't choke on your own vomit. I'm not coming to the pub at 4 a.m. to pick you up off the floor. I'm not cleaning up your mess anymore. I won't do it. And she, because of this success of this first album, is able to get some independence. And she buys a condo.
Yeah.
And she just comes and goes, yeah, I'm just going to buy a condo.
Yeah.
And you see this in this young woman in the 70s when women couldn't even get mortgages without signatures from men and things like that. She just has this incredible financial independence. You get the idea she's paying cash for a condo, you know, and you just think,
That's
wow, what
lovely.
financial independence does for women.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was
absolutely.
remarkable because she just says to Reg, well, I don't have to be with you. I don't have any ties to you. If you're going to keep behaving this way, I can go off on my own and I can be completely okay and self-contained. How did that feel as a young woman to be playing that character?
Oh my goodness. I'm 28 and I look younger, I think, than my age. So, but I've only ever played young women or children. This was the first time that I was cast as an adult person.
Wow. You do look
And-
very young, but that's great for an actor because you can pick up all those roles that you know. when
Hopefully
you,
it will extend the career. But it was like the best feeling ever playing this character has been one of the most incredible things I've ever had the experience of because she has so much agency and she's fierce as well. And I think it's really important. Actually, I said this to a few people I remember in rehearsals, but it also playing this character changed how I felt as me in the rehearsal room.
Wow.
I felt more confident. And that's a testament also to our director, Daniel, and the room that he created and our brilliant company and everyone. But I'm sure that the fact that I was playing, because it's like a joke, but it is sort of true that a lot of the dynamics that are within a play seep into a company. And when you're playing a child, sometimes you end up being babied a bit by the people that are playing the adults or whatever, that sort of thing. But in this case, it just gave me so much freedom and confidence. And yeah, I'll carry that with me hopefully now throughout into my next steps.
wow, that she's given you a confidence to.
Truly.
Are you also going to buy a condo off the back of this?
Maybe. We'll see.
I know a West End run doesn't exactly pay the same as a hit album in the 70s. One thing that I thought was absolutely extraordinary, Lucy, was this scene where Peter says to Diana, let's have a baby. And she says, okay, well, where am I having this baby? Like on stage? We have a tour coming up. We're cutting an album. And he says, fuck the album. And you see this fear in him that she may overtake him musically. And you get the feeling she's going to have the baby and he's going to go off to become a solo artist or do his own thing. And she says, you'll be fine. My life will be ruined. We'll have a screaming baby. I'll be tripping over my breast milk. And then he says, see, this is how it works with you. I'm forcing you. But if I don't force you to have a baby, it's not like you're going to come around. You won't. And I was aghast at this. I was like, well, come on, if I don't force you to have a baby, you won't have a baby. It's like, yes, that's very much how it is. But you feel it coming from his competitiveness with you, your character, about the music that you're able to play, about the way people respond to you, and about him wanting to keep you home, keep you for himself, the fear that you'll go off with other people, the fear that you'll go and get your own recording contract. And his ego is so bound up in this.
The thing is, he wants her to be everything and nothing. Like, he's really supportive in lots of ways. Like, he says that she is good. I think you're tremendously talented. That's what he says to her. And she's like, oh, God, I could hear that more often. But he wants her to be this great artist. But then he says, don't be ambitious. He wants her to be, at the first thing you see her do, like her first interaction with him is she goes, look, I left your pants, those 2 pair of pants. She washes his clothes and he's really happy about that. He wants her to be a perfect mother and a perfect partner, but then he also wants her to be this mega rock star. So what is it? And sometimes, and especially the way Jack plays it, he does I think he wants both for her as well. Like sometimes he's so up for her amazing talent and sometimes he just needs to crush it. But the men do that a lot in the play to the women. Like you see him literally just really flippantly go to Holly like, I'm not sure about that, but oh my God, Reg, I love that bass. But she just made an amazing offer, which made the song sing. And he just like flattened it, didn't work with it at all. And also, I mean, you could say a lot about, it's not just my interaction with my partner in the play, Peter, like even their seemingly healthy relationship with the band manager, there's a lot of girls just be a bit nicer after her boyfriend shouts in her face and she says, can we go somewhere private if you want to have a chat? The band manager says to Holly, you need to be a bit nicer. Can you keep out of the room? But that's literally what she tried to do. So they're being like squashed down quite a lot by the men and they have to remain in that kind of role. But both of them experience it and they manage it in different ways.
And they're also, I find, speaking to this, quite humiliated quite a lot. Like there's a feeling of dismissiveness about your work, or you're not singing this correctly, but there's not a constructive criticism or a collaboration like, oh, I'd love you to do it more like this, or can we try that? Which, of course, we all need in our creative work. Voices yes-anding us or pushing us to strive for more. Critique is very valuable as an artist. But when somebody is critiquing you personally because they have personal feelings for you or about you, and they're humiliating you in front of other people, it really deadens your creative work and also makes you feel like, why am I even in this space? How is that to play? Is that difficult to play sometimes?
I can't, well, just as you were saying that, I literally cannot, I can't, as Diana, believe he's ever doing anything personal to me. Like, I can't.
I'm so sorry I've revealed that now.
What the hell? The whole play's ruined. But I can't. Like, I actually can't believe, I can't receive any bad thing he says. When I'm on stage with Jack and he plays it so nuanced and he's brilliant, I can't, Diana literally thinks, oh, he's just trying to help me. He's just trying to help me. He's just trying to help me. Or he's just had a bad day today. And he has this horrible backstory that's really well sort of presented to you, but you have to figure out yourself. And if you came a few times or read the play, you'd start really discovering why Jack's character is the way he is, or why I am the way I am, whatever. But his is very strong. Like, Diana just always goes back to, oh, you have these horrible people who've informed this behaviour, and I want to undo that for you and show you that I'm always going to be there for you. But obviously that's why she flips. It's not even a conscious flipping for her. Like, she can't, but only at the end of the play does she really understand what her boyfriend has been doing to her. And it's so devastating because he's also built her up. So it's really difficult for her and for me to even, it's only that last moment really when he shouts right in her face. She almost, come watch the play, but I don't want to ruin too much. But anyway, he's quite radical at the end of the play with her, and that's when she goes, this is actually going to have to be it for me now. Like, you're pretty bad, and that you're more selfish, and you know what you're doing more than then I thought you realised. But I can't, as an actor, I literally cannot know that it's any of it's personal or any of it's chiding. Like, she's got to believe he wants to help her because she doesn't believe in herself. So she needs him to believe that.
Yes, and people with narcissistic personality disorder, if it's unchecked and untreated and they're not trying, will build you up as they bring you down. It's always two-handed, because someone who just brings you down every day, you would leave.
Yeah.
It's because they keep dangling, oh, but no, you're very, very talented. Oh, I really believe in you. And then they do something to undermine you. And then they go, no, I didn't mean it like that. You've misunderstood. Or I was pushing you for your own good.
I am nice to you. I am nice to you.
Exactly. And sometimes they are. They're just like really lovely and, you know, they give you everything that you ever wanted and then they pull the rug. And so you see him doing that all the time. But I think it's also out of his own insecurity that he fears you're the bigger artist, you're the better artist, you're the real deal. He's also riddled with insecurity himself and fears. And I think there's so much feminism in this play. And insight into feminism through demonstrating a lack of feminism, if you see what I mean. But it was absolutely singing to me that, gosh, this is what women went through and in many cases still go through. You know, we still hear these horror stories in the music industry, but even more so when the whole world power structure was supporting that women were, okay, little girl, get out of the room while the big boys make the decisions. And what women went through in the 70s was so, so shocking. But also on a human level, what success does to creativity, what the fear of other people's expectations of you can do to all of your creativities, that goes beyond gender. That, do you think when they made their first album that they didn't know what anyone was going to make of it, so they just made the songs that they wanted to make without so much poison in the dynamics? Like, what do you think their first album was like?
That's such a good question, and it's not something that we ever really spoke about in
Less
rehearsals.
Budget. We spoke about the less budget, so they just had to make it. But the budget impacts the entire play. The fact they get lots of money ruins the whole thing, really.
Yeah.
Money ruins everything, yeah.
Because it gives them way too much time to be...
That they don't need necessarily either. So it kind of allows, for toxicity to... Yeah. But I think also what another interesting point is that Simon, Reg and Holly were in a band previously and have played together as a trio for many, many years and been friends for many, many years. And then Diana and Peter join, and then this amazing first album is created, and that's the first thing they do as a band all together.
Yeah, it's only I guess we're seeing them, was it at 3 years? We're seeing them being together, and they've just come off a tour as well. So they're really tight. So they just did this little album. It was quite good, apparently. They've just come off a tour. They're really tired. They're about to record again, and they're nervous. But then the first album blew up. So they haven't come in with ego. They've come with just tiredness and wanting to make. And then it all changes when, I guess, ego. I think the first album recording, just there was not enough of that. There wasn't the ego that there was. It was just getting it done.
You sort of imagine as well, that they were all kind of just there, and they just wanted to make something. They had the opportunity to make something, and they were probably excited by each other, by the newness of it.
But in your first album, you're not worried about the audience expectations because you have no idea. You're just thinking, we hope people like this. And that is why it is the difficult second album. It's, well, now people are expecting something from you, and now you're writing to fulfill that projected expectation, and can it ever be as good as the first album because people are now expecting so much from you.
Yeah, and they're waiting outside as well, and that's part of it too. There's fans waiting outside. More and more fans come in. Some of their clothes start getting a bit more expensive. Some like glow down, which is a lovely
Yeah.
A really cool note from Enver, our costume designer. Really specific.
Costume design is incredible.
It's
It is,
unbelievable.
and there's
beautiful.
so much specific detail in it that if you want to invest more in the play, have a look at what we're wearing, because there's like secrets of what's happening. Even like with Holly's shoes, about like Emma put a little detail in, like suggesting that she's probably going to go into disco after this, as we're going to enter into the 80s. Like maybe she's thinking about that trajectory, which was when they told me that, I went, that's such a small detail. That's so cool.
It really does seem like a production that there's been a lot of love poured into.
Yeah,
I heard that the sound desk that you use, because you're using a real sound desk, is an iconic sound desk that iconic 70s songs were really recorded on, and
True.
you are now there using that equipment. Everything seems like that Beatles documentary, like you're really there. It feels like you're really in the 70s, and you are spending time recording an album, and this is what it would have been like. And so I learned a lot about how albums were recorded from it as well, that how sometimes you're hearing the whole band play together, and sometimes you're hearing somebody just sing one line and they're going to drop that track in. And also just how long it can take, as you say, if you do have the time, the money and the grinding expectations, how fearful the band can be, but also how creative they can be at times, how you see something come alive, you see a great moment of art come alive in front of you, but then you see again those competitive passions kick off. And you learn a lot about their interpersonal relationships, what they're doing outside, who's seeing somebody new, who's jealous, all of that. So there's a sort of a real life soap feel to it as well. If you go, oh my God, she's not seeing him anymore. Like, they've split up between this last scene and this scene. And so there's a lot to kind of capture your, capture and keep your attention as well.
Yeah, and you're running out of room on the tape. She says that they're running out of room, which would happen in the 70s. Now you could just do loads of files, but you only have so much tape, and you've got to get it right.
Yeah.
Can you talk some more about your character journeys through this story? Like, how do you see, Nia, your character developing?
I think Holly, well, I'm sure everyone thinks this about their character, but I think Holly is the most interesting. No, but like she's the only person of color in the band, and she's a woman, and I think Holly has to approach. They all have to approach the music and the work in different ways with their own set of expectations that are put upon them. Holly has a slightly different set of expectations upon her, I think. I remember during rehearsals, I listened to this brilliant podcast. It was the Louis Theroux podcast, I think, and it was Nile Rodgers talking about his whole career and making music in the 70s as well. And there was one thing that he said which just stuck out to me so much, was that if, as a black musician, you had to be already amazing, accomplished, if you wanted to get any sort of record deal or money put into you. But if you were white and cool and had a vibe, that was kind of enough. And I think that was something that I carried with me throughout the process of discovering Holly, is that she is accomplished. She's worked very, very hard her whole life. And she comes from she's come from a musical background. She's played music since she was a child. And I just think she's a grafter, and she has to work very, very hard, and she probably has to work harder than the other band members do in some ways. And I think it's interesting, like, the idea about the women being sidelined and silenced in this play, because they absolutely are, but they're powerful as well, and they do say what they think. You know, you don't get to the end of the play and go, oh God, I really wish she'd been able to speak her mind, because they do, both of them, by the end of the show. And Holly does quite early on. I think her way is to to take up space, and kind of she has to be front-footed, and it doesn't stop the men from doing what they do. But so I think part of her arc is about letting go. I think as the play develops, she's kind of shedding things and maybe realizing what she doesn't need necessarily to get where she needs to be anymore, or if that makes any sense. And I think a massive part that sort of, for both of them, I think, something that sort of like marks their journeys is their relationship with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And
that female friendship there is a really great one. That really feels really, really truthful, and really subtly played, very truthfully played by both of you.
It's quite subtle when Nia accidentally chokes on a donut, and then the other day Nia choked on the donut, and I thought, this is an amazing offer, and I sat back and watched and waited for her to try say a line,
and
then,
I thought I was gonna die,
and she thought she was gonna die, and I was looking at her thinking, what an amazing comedy beat, like this is brilliant, and I didn't save her. So yeah, it's an amazing friendship when someone almost dies and the other actress does not jump in.
No, but
should you have done the Heimlich maneuver?
I just thought,
probably
I really
should
trust
have.
her here. Like she's gonna, the audience are loving this. I'm loving this.
Yeah,
I was like, I might jump in and say her line for her in a minute.
It was quite terrifying.
And then after she was like, I think I almost died.
Oh my god!
And I went, I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry, but the audience ate it up
and choked on
so
it.
different
feminist.
every night.
That's the great thing about live theatre. You just never know how it's going to go.
You do not.
You do not know.
Hey.
Well, they can. But on that point, that the only time they're really totally 100% honest, I think. Well, there is honesty, but about everything is with each other. When they're with each other,
Yeah,
I get scared. I get scared too. That's the lines they share.
They can be vulnerable to each other without having to be scared of the fact that they're being vulnerable, because you do see moments of them being vulnerable in front of the men, but there's danger in those moments, and they know that there's danger, and they're maybe trying to cover, but with each other they don't have to do that because there's no danger. They can just be
vulnerable,
Yeah.
and the other one's not going to use it against them.
exactly.
It's not judgment.
Exactly.
Do you judge me? Have I ever judged you?
Yeah.
And I think that the heart of it, I mean, it was written by David Ajmi, brilliant playwright. But I feel like the feminism in the play is quite outstanding for that. That actually the women are in a way, the more self-evolved, more powerful characters, and they are humiliated, they are sidelined, they are shouted down, they are not given the full space, they are treated the way women were treated in the 70s, and yet they triumph, and yet they will not allow that. They manage to push back and ultimately push through, and one of the ways they do that is by finding the sisterhood in each other. And so I think it's a really beautiful piece for that.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you would like to tell the listeners about the show, or about the story, or about how you're feeling about doing it, about the experience of it?
Well, the show ends on the 22nd of November. So that's how long, whenever this is out, that's how long you have
good.
to catch it. We're doing a gig.
We are doing.
I might sell out though by the time this comes out. Maybe, hopefully, I don't know. Maybe it's not. We're doing a gig on the 2nd of November. We're going to do some songs if you want to come and watch. And yeah, anything to add?
It's such an amazing thing to be a part of, and it's really sad that we're weeks. I mean, we've been doing it since May, so it's been long, and there was a point where it felt like, oh, it's just going to go on forever, so you don't have to worry about getting it all right. But now we're kind of counting down, and it does feel sad and weird sometimes. But
well, I really, really hope that both of you go on to many great things, because you're both truly talented, and it's really wonderful to see how much you can do in this, that you are really, really nuanced actors who are also very funny, very moving, but you can really sing. You're real musicians. And so I'm just very excited to see. Well, I'm excited to be talking to you now because, in 5 years' time, you'll be like crossing the road going, no, don't know who you are. You'll be so famous. So just what I'm trying to say is remember me. I mean,
this is your room, girl.
That's true. That's right.
Exactly.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I mean,
we're going to remember you.
yeah, you'll
You're gonna
remember
be here in 5 years.
You won't call me, but you will remember me, and that's key. No, I really am excited to see what both of you do. Everyone in this is so talented, but you both really stood out to me as, massive stars. So I'm so excited to see what your second album is after this.
Hopefully it will be as good as the first.
Yeah, with
I'm sure
much
that it
drama.
With less
drama.
tyrannical men.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And anybody who can get to see Stereophonic should. It's in the West End of London. If you if you're not near London or you can't get to London in time, pick up the play text. The album is on everywhere you get your music, and give a listen to that. Or hopefully it will come somewhere closer to you. But we really do hope as many people as possible grab a ticket. And I think the Guilty Feminist has a ticket offer on that you can see in the show notes.
Wow.
So hopefully we will have many Guilty Feminists coming. It really, really is a very a brilliant feminist piece, and also, as always, a guilty feminist piece, because it's it's also a miniskirts in the 70s, which is so great. Do you have any I'm a feminist buts? Any feminist confessions?
Any feminist confessions?
So it could be like, I'm a feminist but I love the fashion in this more than the text. Or
oh my God.
Is there anything from this show that you feel like is a feminist confessional?
I actually find I'll give it. There's a moment where I walk on stage and I smoke a cigarette, and I'm wearing the skimpiest outfit in the show, and all I do is smoke the cigarette. And I always think, the only reason I'm doing this is so everyone can look at me in this outfit. And that's genuinely every time that's what I think. And I've tried to fill it, and I've given up on, fill it with good acting, a feeling, and I've given up on it. It's my Vogue moment.
Yes.
There we go.
Are you enjoying it? Is it quite fun? Are you thinking, I'm young and beautiful and
I've been itching my belly button in it. And then one time I picked my nose during it because I thought I'll mix this up a bit and make it a bit what the fuck.
Look,
I'm
hot
I pose.
and I'm gross.
I'm hot and I'm gross. I'm everything.
Excellent. You've gone a bit
not
punk
like
with
the
it.
other girls.
Because I don't know why I do it. I just stand there, smoke a cigarette, then sit. It's like it's a 30 seconds. I'm like, everyone's just looking at this outfit, but maybe I should love that. And
I think it's like one of those moments in the Beatles documentary where it's just a human moment. You're just watching somebody do their own thing for no reason.
And for some reason they're hot in that. They're wearing something nice.
Yeah, it's true. When it's a woman in a skimpy hot outfit, it's a bit different from watching Paul McCartney tune his guitar, isn't it? Yeah, it's true.
It might be.
Absolutely. I know. Have your Vogue moment. Enjoy it. Well, we really hope everyone can come and see it. Is there anything you came to say that you didn't get to say?
Thank you so much for having us
Yeah,
on
thank
the show
you so
and
much.
being so lovely about it.
Thank you so much.
So
It's
lovely.
A genuinely brilliant play, and you're genuinely brilliant in it. I am really hoping to come back again before the end of the run. Are you saying you're having a gig on the last night?
Well, it's not on the last night. We're having a gig on the 2nd of November with a really brilliant musician called Alyssa Bonagura. I might have said her name wrong and I'm so sorry, but she happens to be, she has a relation she has with our show because our wonderful understudy Steve
Shirley.
His fiance. Steve Shirley, he's a musician, amazing musician, and his fiance is an amazing musician, and we're doing a little partnership gig with her, really just for fun. So it's just for us because we're a band and we want to do band stuff, and we might sing
where's
some
the
originals.
gig?
Putney.
Okay, well, I'll try and come along to that.
It's just been released, so there's pre-sale now, but I don't know what that will be in relation to when this is released.
No, yeah, absolutely. We'll add something about that in the show notes. Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, it was absolutely wonderful to meet you. Thank you so much, Lucy and Nia.
Thank you.
so much.
Thank you.
You have been listening to The Guilty Feminist with me, Deborah Frances-White, and my very special guests, Lucy Karczewski and Nia Towle. The recording engineer was Grundy Lazimbra. The Guilty Feminist theme tune was composed by Mark Hodge. The producer was Tom Salinsky for The Spontaneity Shop. Thanks to Gina Dicio, Zainab Mohammed, Ned Sedgwick, Emma Holland, and everyone at Stereophonic, as well as all of you for listening. For more information about this and other episodes, visit guiltyfeminist.com.